Uh, in Matthew 27:52, the graves were open. This happened when Jesus rose. And who else? Well, we don't know their names. All we know is that they rose from the dead, and then they went into the city of Jerusalem. Okay. My assumption is that they were all assumed into heaven. Just that's not recorded into the scripture, because they're certainly not going to die again. Okay. They were raised just like Jesus was raised, as a witness to the fact that he was raised, maybe. And so they are all assumed into heaven. So we have some people living at those times that are walking around in heaven today with their resurrected body. All right. Question number 2, Romana. Can we trace the origins or the different races to the 3 sons of Noah? Of course we can. Okay. Now we know geographically where they all moved to. Japheth went north, Shem stayed in the Middle East, and Ham went south. That pretty much covers all the territory, all the known territory at that time. Okay. Now we have to remember that the DNA we have is built to adapt to our environment, and it's built to vary. Okay. That's why we can get so many different variations of animals from one dog. You have different variations of dogs, from a Great Dane to a Chihuahua. Why? Because the DNA of the first dog was built that way, so that it could vary and adapt to whatever the environment was. Very powerful, this DNA stuff. Okay. Same with the races. You could have black skin, yellow skin, white skin. It's all built into the DNA. Whatever the environment's going to draw out, it's going to draw out, and form different races from that. So because if they stay there long enough, the whole genetic scheme is going to be indigenous to that culture, and they're all going to share that gene selection, let's say, that the DNA gives them, and thereby make their race. Okay, so it's all possible from DNA. Can you briefly explain the orbit of the moon in the geocentric system? Is it a daily orbit? Is it exactly 24 hours? Thank you for all you do. All right, well, you have 2 motions of the moon, just like you do of the sun. Okay, the sun is going to be carried by the rotating universe, just like all the stars are. Okay, so that's why we see the sun go around us every day. Why? Because the universe is going around us every day and is carrying the sun with it. Same with the moon. Okay, the universe is carrying the moon, and that's why we see the moon go around us every day. Okay, now there's a little difference between the sun and the moon, because the moon, if I remember, is moving faster than the sun is. Even though the universe is taking them both around, the sun and the moon have independent movements. The sun, as the universe is trying to take it around, the sun goes back just a little bit from that pull of the universe by about 4 minutes a day. And that causes it to go backwards, which we call retrograde motion, and it's going to go through the constellations. So 4 minutes a day, you add that up, 365 days, that's the time that the sun goes through the zodiac. Or for us people, not us, for those people who believe in horoscopes, the zodiac, Taurus, Aries, all that stuff, the sun is in Aquarius or whatever it is. That's what they mean by that. The sun is moving backward with retrograde motion. Even though the universe is taking it around the Earth every day, the sun has its own independent movement, okay? Same with the moon, okay? It has an independent movement from the universe and the sun that's going to take 28 days to go around the Earth, okay? So, again, you have two movements. You have the daily movement with the moon going around the Earth, okay? Because the universe is taking the moon with it. And the universe travels in one day around the Earth, so does the moon. But then the moon has its own independent movement, okay? And it's going to take 28 days to fulfill that independent movement, okay? All right. Oh, okay. Get tired tonight. Somebody wrote here in Dutch, is that? I can tell by the name Vanderlust. Yeah, I can't make sense out of that. Wish I knew it, but I can't answer that question. Wasn't Moses punished? This is your second question, dearish. Wasn't Moses punished because he didn't speak to the rock, but hit the rock twice? That is, he wasn't supposed to hit it at all, much less twice. He was supposed to speak to it. Yeah, one passage says he was supposed to speak to it, and the other says he was supposed to hit it once. So that therein lies the discrepancy. You got two different books talking about that same passage. So, you know what? I should take a look at that for you. Yeah, because I'm curious myself. I've known that existed. There we go. But where is my? Okay. So I'm going to look at that one for tomorrow night also. Well, I didn't get it. Let me see if I get it correctly here. Yep. Nope. Didn't get it for some reason. I don't know what the deal is here. Just hold on, I'll be with you in a minute here. All right, so I got your question. Let me look at that in detail. But I know that's the problem. One passage says one thing, one passage says the other. So I'll see if I can make sense of that for you. So even if you're not here tomorrow, I will answer that question, and then you can go back and see the recording. All right. Horse teeth, Madonna. Pardon my name, call me Mike P. But you said the translation of the Fatima letter should be, it will be too late and not just late. Yes, I did. This is very depressing to me. And I was banking on that happening. Can you elaborate on your translation? Well, it comes from a 1936 letter written by Sister Lucia. And I was shocked to see it also. And I got it from the man, Dr. Chanowski, who's done the most work on Fatima in recent times. And yeah, there it is. It says too late. It will be too late. I've always struggled with that. When she said, they will do it, but it will be late. And it makes sense that she said, they will do it, but it will be too late. Because she's referring to Pius XII in 1952. When he did consecrate Russia, although without the bishops. But it's too late. Even his good old try was too late, because Russia had already come into the world and done their dastardly deeds, and there's nothing that could be done about it. Okay, so now it makes all the sense in the world, and that's why I say that, because that was the one thing that was making me hold on to Fatima as a future possibility, was the statement where we were told that either Lucia or Jesus, who had visited in 1931, had said, they will do it, but it will be late. Now when you say they will do it, but it will be too late. But actually, now that I think about it, you could actually get the same meaning out of the phrase, they will do it, but it will be late, as you can out of saying they will do it, but it will be too late. Now that I think about it. And because if he does it in 1952, consecrates Russia, even that little that he did, whether heaven judges it as a good, solid try or not very impressive, I don't know. But he does it, and it's still late. Why is it late? Well, because Russia's already moved into the world and devastated it, okay, by 1952. They were in their heyday in 1952 under Stalin. So either way, now I see that it makes total sense that Fatima's over. It's over. And it's been over for decades. So all this, and it also answers the question about why we had the fake Sister Lucy from 1958 onward. Because if it was all over by 1952, and you want to keep propping it up as still a possibility, well, you're going to have to invent another Sister Lucy in 1958. So we have an imposter for the last how many decades? It all makes sense now. Okay? There is no more Fatima. It was over a long time ago. And the church has been deceived. Yeah. So